Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had that homie that would call in sick back in the day just to watch The Price is Right and Gilligan's Island, smash that subscribe button. Go and have him smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the following patrons. A new patron, Tony Rex, Hernan, Michael Mua, Winston, Alejandro, Trailero 760, G, Grant, El Skid, Nathan, Hobie Cat, Mika Boy, Lead with Love, Charles, Albert 12, John Wick, Marshall, Soulstar LA, AI Vega, Esquiel, Big Bad 48, JT, Nova, Jack, Linda, Abuelita Irma, Angel, Michigan Wolverines, Mikey, Marius, Chevelle 66, Gigi, Abuelita's Journey, and Dallas Herrero. If you have not already signed up, you are missing out. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that link in the description below. This episode right here, man. Hector, you walked away from the California Department of Corrections after 16 years as a lieutenant without any loose ends, right? Without any loose strings. Not quite, guys. Not quite. The hell you mean, Hector? What the hell you been hiding from us? It's time. It's time. Before I resigned, the seed got planted a year prior-ish. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if it was possible. I just knew that where I was at Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility, and the administration, the warden, and the chief, and all the minions underneath had created such a hostile, corrupt, retaliatory environment, and it went even above them because I saw it. It went up to the chief deputy director, to the director, and they were enabling this. They were backing it 110%. I'm like, oh no. My 4-year-old daughter, right? She changed the game. You guys know this. Probably if I didn't have a daughter, probably has to be right there in the fucking trenches, fighting over handcuffs and EOPs. My daughter changed the game for me, man. I wasn't no longer feeding myself. I had a little mouth to feed. So Hector, get to the goddamn point. Okay. I have a good friend named Ariel. He's from Brawley, California, my hometown. Him and the co-host Danny have a podcast called Hot Mic on the Line. They both work at Calipatria State Prison, home of the level 4 killers. They stay stabbing people over there. Kid you not. Last week, the week before last, people are just getting stabbed up, life flighted, the whole, probably right now. Oh, morning chow, it's probably going to kick off. That's just the way Calipat is. Always has been. Ariel had started this podcast years back, and he had always wanted me to be a guest on his podcast. He is huge on mental health. The whole podcast is based on mental health, law enforcement, mental health, first responders, like giving back. Like, hey man, there's stuff going on in this department and we need to address it. You know, mentally, there's a lot going on. You guys are aware of what's transpiring. I did not want to go on his podcast at that time because I knew that if I put myself out there, I was going to put myself out there. And you can't be putting yourself out there while you're in the department. You already be seeing what they do. Those retaliatory sons of bitches. Here we go. But I was going to get on and talk about my military service, my brothers that were killed in Iraq. That was going to be the whole base. I wasn't going to dive into CDCR at all. But nonetheless, when it came time for me to pull the trigger and almost resign, I hit him up. I shot him a text. I said, hey, dude, let's make that happen. He's like, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Long overdue. I knew I was going to leave the department. I didn't know when. It was just a matter of time. There was no hard date. I knew that I was going to bring heat to myself, and no doubt there was going to be brought heat to that podcast. But I wasn't going to do that, right? I wasn't going to fuck over somebody else so that I can get 15 seconds of fame or whatever. It was going to be some controversial topics, I'll tell you that much. And rightfully so, because CDCR, as much as they claim to be transparent, are anything but. Anything but. They are opposite of transparent, whatever that is. Shady. But I knew, hey man, I can't let him put his foot in his mouth. I can't let nobody say nothing that's going to get people got. We can't say names. We can't really say locations, places, blah, 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 departments, blah, blah, blah. And the reason it was going to be such a good episode is because everybody knew up and down the state what the hell had transpired between that overfamiliar captain and that Mexican mafia member, Yoda. Period. Everybody knew about it. The inmates were talking about it. Staff were talking about it. 2 officers almost got murdered. And I don't put this lightly. It's a miracle they survived. Trust me. I've seen people die, and I've seen people get right there. One of the cops was right fucking there. So it's like, hey, man, this sucks. This sucks that nobody knows our story. This sucks that the public doesn't know. This is horrible. This is a horrible feeling. And I recently interviewed somebody from YA Youth Authority. And dude went on to say how they were torturing. That's torture. I've slept on it a couple days. That's straight up torture. To have individuals sit on their knees, handcuffed for 7 days, that's fucking torture tactics. Trust me. I would know what that is. I would know. I was in the military. Not that we did that. I just would know. Dudes were hitting me up in the DMs, on the comments, like, hey, man, yeah, we had to live with that for years. We had to live with it. Nobody knew but us. That's a fucked up feeling. I know what it's like to not be able to speak out, not be able to share, not be able to have anybody listen for fear of repercussion. I'm getting fucking chills just thinking about it. So Ariel and Danny are good people. They have good hearts. So I went on. I shared the story. I left names out on purpose. And oh man, it didn't take long. It didn't take long. And I did my best to keep him from saying much, right? And it didn't take long. When I got back to Donovan, like the next day, 2 days, they'd already spread like wildfire, right? Now the clock started. And I told my wife, hey, the clock started. Well, what do you mean? Like I had already told her I had planning on quitting, but she didn't really believe me, or she did. She thought it was going to be a 2-year process. Fuck no. Once I told her that clock started, it started. The warden at the time, can't remember if it was Madden or Hill, told ISU, hey, review that whole video and see if there's any policy violations. Yeah, there's fucking policy violations at all levels of management, right? Book them. But that's not what they were looking for. They were seeing if I slipped up. I don't slip up. Let me tell you that. Here we go. And how do I know this? Because little birdies everywhere, man. I got ears everywhere. Ears and eyes. Helen Keller. Make sure, check if there's any policy violations. ISU gets back to them. Nah, everything was all in the up and up. All right. They didn't like it. Of course they don't like it, man. That's kind of like if you're beating your wife, you don't want your wife to go out and tell the whole neighborhood it's going to make you look bad. That's their mentality. It's going to make you look bad, let alone you're beating the shit out of somebody, right? The clock started. I'm on the map. Let me tell you about Ariel. He's from Brawley. I'm from Brawley. We grew up together, kindergarten and up. Grade school, junior high, high school. Dude always played soccer. Soccer's his thing. My grandma's house on South 11th Street, there's Guadalupe Park that was across the street. The little homie would always be kicking the soccer ball over the Malin, and I would just be watching them play soccer. I'm not athletic, so I just sit there and watch. He joined the department before I did. And I'm telling you about him because he's too humble to tell you about himself. Went to Centinela, I went to Centinela. He joined CRT, Crisis Response Team. I was a hater. I was a CRT hater, for sure. Fact, I came from the military. I had an ego. Might still have a little bit of ego, but ego's not your amigo. I work on that daily. I talk a lot of shit, right? A lot of shit for years, man. Decades. Be stacking up the jokes for decades, right? Here we go. 10 fucking years of talking shit about CRT to him. But I seen what it did. Opportunities, promotions, ISU. He got on ISU. He was just doing good, becoming an instructor. I'm like, damn, like I know this kid, this dude, and he's my age, but I know this guy since kindergarten. He's doing it. He has a very successful career. He has a lot of accolades. He's doing it. Fucking always on the line, housing units, yard. I think we were in a riot together. We were on a Bravo yard when Bravo 2 bunk beds went off and the gym went off simultaneously. We were in that one together. Code 3, blacks and Mexicans. If you watch my episodes prior, I'm telling a whole entire story from episode 1. You guys are starting to know who's who and what's what. You guys knew who that captain was. You guys knew who that Mexican mafia member was. I told you in one of the episodes that I was in the ISU signing out at Centinela. You have to get sign out sheet everywhere. Make sure you're not under investigation so you can transfer out or promote. In that case, I was promoting to sergeant. I had got a promotion to Donovan. I was signing out in the ISU. I see Ariel in the hallway right there, right as I walk out. I tell him, hey, man, I had 8 years in the department at that time as an officer. I say, hey, man, I'm thinking about joining CRT. He goes, do it, bro. Do it. I know you have your thoughts about this. I know you have your thoughts about that, but you'll be surprised, man. The training's pretty good. For those of you guys don't know, the crisis response team is equivalent to a SWAT team out on the streets before the prison system. So I'm gonna do it, man. I seen it do some good things for you, man. I'm at a loss right now. I lost my motivation for the job. Even though I got a promotion to sergeant, I needed that something extra, fulfillment. Long career ahead of me, right? 20 plus ahead. 20 years still, because I had 8 years. That was the plan. Come over to Donovan. He goes over there. We kept in contact. Of course, we're going to keep in contact. Well, I'll be damned is that as a result of my interview on the Hot Mic podcast, if that weasel and rat captain didn't file a complaint against him and them. Boom, that initiates an investigation. That was a fear of mine, right? I didn't want nobody to get in trouble. You guys have to understand, man. I will never jeopardize anybody for the sake of me, right? I will always put others above me, always. And I learned that shit in the military. Even when I do these interviews with former incarcerated inmates, prior to interviewing them, I say, don't trip, man. I'm not going to ask you anything that's going to get you in the jam. Trust me. I'm not going to. I said, it ain't worth it to me, man. Views ain't worth it to me. He goes, no, they tell me. I could tell. I said, trust me. Fuck that. Like, just tell your story, man. We'll keep it within the lanes, right? We got lanes we got to follow. Unspoken rules. Street rules. Street code. They go under investigation. I'm like, fuck, man. Fuck. By that weasel, no less. That almost got 2 cops murdered. That captain ended up getting fired. Marcus Pollard and Connie Gibson pulled their strings. Probably Mona Houston involved because she signed off on the termination. These are all facts. And somehow that dude got his job back. A demotion to lieutenant to Centinela. These are all facts, man. What I'm saying are fucking facts. Dude got his job back as a lieutenant. I had that cloud hanging over me. Fuck. Don't let nothing happen to him. Don't let nothing happen to him because I'm going to feel responsible. I'm going to feel the guilt. When I became the crisis response team commander for Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility, the first person I reached out to was Ariel. First person. He is on the Calapat Centinela team. Dude's been on the team for decades. Said, I need your help. I need your help, dude. This realm right here, this seat, this commander spot, I'm in charge of everybody. I need your help, man. Need your input. We're going to have tryouts soon. Can you guys please come and monitor and give your input? And that was the first time, man, I broke down, we broke down barriers and walls, hostilities between two teams in the past history. My team members weren't even happy. They were all like, oh, why are you reaching out to them? They had this tough guy mentality, like you don't ask for help or we're better than that. Fuck that. I got some common sense up here. I got some wits and some marbles. They come over, they help, man. It was I think approximately 10-hour day, the tryouts. You have the whole team there, and you have the candidates that think they're ready to become a CRT member. You're moving the whole 10 hours. You're not stopping. You may be doing push-ups, bear crawls, monkey fuckers, flutter kicks, carrying shit, putting down shit, push-ups, burpees, squats, lunges. You just may be doing that for 10 hours straight. Who knows? Possibly, I don't know. Different tests, different scenarios, different interviews, the whole shebang, right? So I was kind of curious. I had never attended another tryout other than Donovan. So I'm like, it'd be kind of cool to get these dudes' input, right? And they bring a bell. They bring a bell like the Navy SEALs. You ever see the Navy SEALs? When you want to quit, you could ring the bell. And I like that. It's a big ass bell. We had never done that before. So yeah, you got these dudes ringing the bell. I'm like in my head, I'm like laughing, right? But I got to keep a professional demeanor. Like, motherfuckers quitting already. We just fucking started 2 minutes ago. Here we go. The fuck? Holy shit. So almost to the end of the day, it was hot. I tell him what we plan on doing next. Not even plan. What's part of the process? And he's like, nah, no way, you're lying to me. I said, oh, bro, I'm not lying to you. This is the whole. It's like a grand finale. Let's call it. Nah, no way. Oh yeah. Oh man. So we get to that point in the process, in the tryouts, and these fucking kids are smoked, sweaty, dehydrated, right? Of course I make them hydrate, right? Hydrate or die. So hey, chug water, motherfuckers, chug water. They're over there throwing up. You know, a lot of these kids have heart. They just keep at it, right? Fucking, golly, G. Estás cortado, G. Se le notan las venas en ese güey, G. The fuck, greñas? No, homie knows greñas, too. So me and him are in the van, air conditioned, while the troops, the candidates, are not in air conditioning, carrying a lot of heavy stuff, and it is hot as hell outside. And what they're going through is extremely excruciating, right? It's just telling me, hey, Yahweh, no mames. I'm laughing. He's telling me, hey, bro, it's hot out there. Yeah, don't trip, Ariel. I did this, right? We all did this. Every member has to do this, so we ain't gonna die. We all did it, right? Yahweh. Hey, yeah, stop it, bro. No. If they die, they die, right? So I thought he was kidding with me. Apparently, it's a little extreme what we do. What the tryouts is a little turned up, right? So we finished. This dude I said, what'd you think about that? He's like, oh shit, bro. Like, ours is hard, right? Ours is hard, but damn. Oh shit. Man, not everybody makes it, right? Not everybody gets to be a CRT member. That's something you earn. And yeah, not everybody's gonna make it. You could finish everything and still not get selected, depending on how you carry yourself, right? If you're not cut out for it, you're not gonna get picked. You have to be a team player. Now, Danny Danny is a hostage negotiator. When I first joined CRT, I joined as a tactical operator. I'm too good to be a negotiator, man. I got a fucking cuerpo de yokis, right? I still got a little bit of youth in me. I'm gonna be a tactical operator, kicking indoors, but fucking let me put some Bengay, some icy hot, getting up there in age. By this time, I had 10 years in the department, 11, 12, 13 years in the department. I'm already a lieutenant. I go to the hostage negotiator academy. I think I got the call that I promoted when I was up at the academy. That hostage negotiation course was by far the best course ever in my life. Ever. The hardest course ever in my life. Ever. Mentally. Holy shit. Talk about a game of chess with your mind. Oh no. It's the FBI's. It's the FBI's hostage negotiations course is what it is. Crisis negotiator. You're getting the same exact training as the FBI. You're doing your thing for 8, 10, 12, 16 hours a day training. Those days were relentless. And I meet Danny there. It was after a scenario, right? I put it all on the table. You really have to expose yourself. You really have to become vulnerable at that academy. He comes up to me and goes, "Hey, man, I never met you before. I heard a lot about you. Pretty much like, I like you." I said, "Cool, man. I like you too," right? I had heard of him. Small town, small department. Your people's my people. We're all good. We're all on the up and up. So, boom, we hit it off. Cool. That's how I met Danny. So those two go under investigation for that podcast, right? And I bounced. I resigned. Now, yeah, somebody could have easily said, like, "Oh, you're in the clear. Don't trip. Don't worry about it. That's behind you." Fuck no. I carry that with me, right? Up until yesterday. I was going to see what punishment they were going to hand down to those two, right? And let me tell you something about being patient. I'm patient. I'll wait fucking years, decades to prove a point. Fuck. Prove a point. Hector, life's not all about proving points. You know what the fuck I mean, right? To correct some wrongs. Correct some wrongs. Make amends. So if CDCR would have dished out a heavy penalty, I would have made a move. They make a move, I make a move. It would have been a video. It would have been this. It would have been that. Like, just exposing more on a higher, more turned up level. But lo and behold, after a thorough investigation, and mind you, not once did me and those two individuals discuss anything about an investigation. You best believe that. That's another trick of the trade. If you're if you're in some type of investigation, shut your fucking mouth, right? Don't be sending texts. Don't be sending emails. Don't be writing huilas. Don't just shut the fuck up, right? Wait till it's over and cross your fingers. Hope for the best that they don't twist up your words. OIA, that is. So, they didn't tell me they were under investigation. I caught wind. Well, they got a slap on the hand. Cool. I was cool with that. All right, they got a slap on the hand. I'm cool with that. But kind of limits them. It limits them now. Now they're under a microscope. Now, you kind of got your warning, right? You kind of got your calentada, so to say, your little chequeada. So I'm like, damn, like that was never my goal, right? Not to put them out of business, right? Well, it's not a business. It's a hobby. Let's not get it twisted. So they went live yesterday, right? And I'm like, oh man, I wonder what my boys are gonna say. Me van a mandar a la verga. What the fuck? Like I hadn't really hollered at them in a minute, right? I had caught wind that everything was they didn't get in trouble, so to say. Kind of let bygones be bygones. Let's look at the whole picture. Yeah, this former captain's a lame, incompetent. He almost got people killed. These two solid, upstanding correctional peace officers, sergeants and lieutenants, are doing the right thing by trying to enforce or trying to shed light on mental health. Tell you about Ariel also, man. This dude, because I'm telling you, he's too humble. Dude promoted to Calipat level 4 killer GP. He was a sergeant and or a lieutenant at Calipat. He may or may not have been there when the big homie from Wilmas got his eyeball stabbed out to death, right? This dude was in the trenches. Charlie Yard, Calipat, level 4 killers, GP. Everywhere he went, dudes were getting murdered left and right. Not that he was causing it. It's fucking prison. But he's like, damn, bro, call me La Muerte, this and that, right? We always kept in touch. And that's just how some people get that. It's like almost, fuck, man. Like, what do they call it? Like, hey, you got bad luck, bro. Get away from me, right? You got a dark cloud over you. Get away. But hey, some people are just there every time something happens. The dude is experienced. The dude is experienced. I'm going to say one more funny thing about that. He hit me up one time and said, look at my report. This was years ago. Look at my report. I look it up. I start laughing. I'm like, no mames way. This fool saw a one-on-one fight and he takes out his whistle. I ain't ever seen anybody use a damn whistle in my entire life. Ever. Soccer referees, football referees, basketball referees. This fool blows the whistle to put the yard down. Oh no, bro. I start laughing. But that's how comfortable, confident, callous the dude got. Like, hey man, you're watching people get murdered literally every day. You can now start blowing your whistle. Hey, it's a form of, it's an alarm, right? It's in our policy, it's in our procedure. We carry that little brass thing everywhere we go. I said, hey dude, what did people say? He's like, oh, the inmates were yelling charge. Charge, right? Oh shit. So like, dude's hilarious with it. So I tap in yesterday. I'm like, oh, me van a mandar a la verga. I haven't talked to these dudes in a minute, right? Nah. they as best as they could do with their constraints under policy and procedure, they gave their spill. And I'm glad to see that they're back. I'm glad to see that, hey man, take it on the chin, just keep pushing forward, right? I'm glad, right? I'm glad everything's on the up and up right now. You had two guys from Brawley growing up as kids. I think Brawley raises people right. Kept it quiet, kept it solid, didn't say nothing. You had some dumb fuck captain from LA, mind you. Dude always used to boast and brag how he was from LA. I'm from LA, guys. Oh, are you, bro? The fuck? Take the short bus over here? Here we go. Fuck. Right? La verga. And good always prevails, man. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take this is my message for the day, so don't trip. It's always gonna take time. But good's always gonna prevail, man. If you don't go out like a bitch, if you don't talk shit, gossip, backtalk, rumors, smut campaigns, cry, complain, file complaints, and do this, and you stay solid like that, that's what solid is, you're going to be all right. It may take a couple months. In this case, it took 8 months, but it doesn't matter. You're going to be all right. So yeah, man, two dudes that grew up together. Some fucking buffoon comes into our lives, tries to wreck everything for his fucking agenda of some sort. And in the end, everything's cool, man. Everything's cool. Shout out to CDCR for doing the right thing. I'm not always just gonna bash. Doing the right thing, recognizing the totality of the circumstances. That was good. That was really, really good. But here's the deal. They just started their YouTube channel. It's called Hot Mic on the Line. Everybody needs to go over there and hit the subscribe button, right? They're good dudes. They're good people. They represent well. They are still within the department, so they are still under those constraints. Show them some love, right? Let them know, hey, man, not everybody likes lames, right? So keep doing your thing, solid, right? Everybody on here says real recognizes real. Those two dudes are the real deal, man. With that, I'm gonna put the link to their little channel down here, or I'm gonna put their link down here. Go over there, subscribe, keep pushing forward.